What is up, everyone? It's Ben Falcons Media Corner back again with a brand new AK After a Soul review episode for today. This is going to be my review on a brand new release film for 2022, which this one just came out today around the globe. And I saw this movie today, and I'm here to give you guys my personal thoughts on this new release. Which this is going to be my review on the 2022 computer animated superhero family comedy film, and that movie is DC League of Super Pets. This is directed by Jared Stern and tells the story of this super dog named Crypto, voiced by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who has an owner, which is of course Superman, voiced by John Krasinski. And pretty much they've been best friends ever since they were very young, and they've always stood for each other, and they never grew apart from each other, and they've even worked together as a team since they are superheroes. But pretty much for Crypto at the moment, he's kind of worried for his life because he's not getting much time with Superman, because for Superman he's spending much time with his girlfriend Lois Lane, and all he wants to do is that he wants to marry her. And for Crypto, it's kind of worrying him because he feels like he feels like he will never have a best friend anymore. So what ends up happening later on in the movie is that this evil guinea pig named Lulu, voiced by Kate McKinnon, she finds a piece of a Krypton crystal, and she gains powers when she touches it. She gains some superpowers once she touches it, and she becomes an evil guinea pig. And what ends up happening is that she ends up kidnapping Superman as well as the rest of the Justice League team. And also we see a bunch of sheltered animals, which consist this turtle named Merton, voiced by Natasha Lyonne, a pig named PB, voiced by Vanessa, a squirrel named Chip, voiced by Diego Luna, and a dog named Ace, voiced by Kevin Hart, in which they also get superpowers as well. And Crypto is trying to find Superman after he finds out that he's been kidnapped, and then he ends up bumping into these sheltered animals, and they join along with Crypto to basically help him find Superman and the rest of the Justice League, since they're kidnapped. And for these sheltered animals, they're trying to basically learn about their powers, since they don't know how to control themselves. So we see that happening while we see these animals team up with Crypto, and hopefully they can save Superman and his friends, and hopefully they can save the day from Lulu, the evil guinea pig herself. So that's pretty much the story of DC League of Super Pets. Now, I wasn't massively excited for this film, and I wasn't hyped for this film or anything. And this one was not one of my most anticipated films of the entire year, but I was still interested in seeing the film, mostly because of the cast who were involved with this. You've got Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart, Kate McKinnon, John Krasinski, and Keanu Reeves, and a bunch of other names who were involved with this film. I was intrigued to see what they can do for a film like this. And when the trailers dropped by, they didn't really impress me that much. They weren't the worst trailers I've seen, but I was still interested in seeing this film again, because again of the cast who were involved with this film. And also another reason I was interested in seeing it was because it's from DC. I do tend to enjoy DC stuff, like mostly the DCEU. Like the most recent ones we've got in recent years, like the Suicide Squad or Wonder Woman or Shazam or anything like that. Even though I'm a much bigger Marvel fan than DC, but I was still interested in seeing this one. And I went and I saw this today on the 29th of July, and my screening was really packed. There was a lot of children in my screening as well as adults as well. And after walking out of this one, I can definitely say I had a enjoyable time with this one. This was definitely a good watch. It's definitely not a great... I wouldn't say this is a great film, but this is definitely a good watch, yeah. And I can definitely see children will have a blast with this one. And for adults, they may be like me, who may have an enjoyable time with this one, and maybe a few who may have a fine time with this one. Quite a few things to enjoy out of this movie, like the animation. This film was pretty nice for a cartoony film like this one, for the character designs, for the pets, as well as for the other characters, like the Justice League team, which we actually got to see them in this movie, which that was pretty cool. And the voice work in the film, everyone was entertaining and pretty good in this movie. Dwayne Johnson was good as Crypto, and he was entertaining for a few parts. Kevin Hart as Ace, he was pretty funny in the movie, and we actually got to see him butt heads with Dwayne Johnson in this film, which was fun. Ever since I saw these two people in Central Intelligence and the Jumanji sequels, they've been butting heads with each other ever since. And for seeing that all over again, but a totally new film like this one, it was really fun to see. And as for the voice actors, Kate McKinnon, she was pretty good as the villain, Lulu the guinea pig. John Krasinski as Superman, he was pretty good. Vanessa as PB, she was pretty funny. Natasha Lyonne as Merton, she was pretty funny in the movie. She gets away with a lot of things in this film, which we'll get into later. Diego Luna's Chip, he was pretty good. And Keanu Reeves as Batman, he was pretty cool in the movie. Everyone was pretty entertaining for the most part in this film. And the jokes in the film, there was a few jokes that did land for me. There was a few laughs I had for myself while I was watching this movie. Like for Merton, the character of Merton, for the jokes she provides in the film, she gets away with quite a few of them in this film. Like there's a few adult jokes from her in this film which are pretty funny. Like there's one where she swears, but we don't hear her say the word since it is censored, really, because this is a kids movie and it's rated PG. But when I first saw it, when I first heard it, I was like, "What?" It was totally an unexpected surprise for myself. But when I heard it again, I just couldn't stop laughing my ass off, as well as alongside with the kids who they just couldn't stop laughing their ass off for that part. And there are some toilet jokes in the film, like there's one in particular that's been shown on the trailers and all that, where Ace takes a long pee and keeps interrupting Crypto's speech. That one got a laugh from me though. But as for other jokes, most of them didn't land for me really. Another issues I had was its story. It's really predictable really for what was going to happen towards the final fight of the film, and for other things in the film before it gets to the final fight, and for one of the backstories for one of the pets in the film, which that was really predictable really. And the concept of the film, it's like if you combine two things at the same time. It's like if you combine the Secret Life of Pets mixing with DC and you get this. It just felt like that. And I can definitely say I enjoyed this one a lot more than the Secret Life of Pets. Even though I do enjoy those films, but I can say this one I like this one a bit more than that. And in the end, guys, the DC League of Super Pets, it's definitely an enjoyable watch. It's definitely not a great film. It's not the best anime film of this year. It's definitely not one of the worst, but I can definitely say I had an enjoyable time with this one. Again, kids will have a blast with this one. Adults maybe like me, and there may be a few adults who may be like me who may have an enjoyable time with this one, and a few may have a fine time with this one. And if you're a fan of like the cast, like The Rock or Kevin Hart, or if you're a fan of like animated superhero films or DC, you may, again, like I said, you may have an enjoyable time with this one. You may have a blast with this one, like the kids, or may have a fine time with this one. So that's pretty much what I have to say about DC League of Super Pets. I'm going to give DC League of Super Pets 3.5 out of 5. Solid score. Despite having a few complaints with this one, I still had an enjoyable time with this one. And again, I can definitely say kids will have a blast with this one. A few adults, maybe like myself, may have an enjoyable time with this one, and a few may have a fine time with this one. And again, this is definitely not the best anime film of this year. It's definitely not one of the worst this year. I can definitely say this one was just a good watch. Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much for watching for my AK After I Saw review on DC League of Super Pets, and let me know what you think of this new release if you just recently seen this movie. Did you have a blast for this, or was this really a popcorn treat? So again, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more reviews. And as always, this has been Foggins Media Corner signing off.